want to share a quick topic with you, a quick change in perspective, something I've recently discovered. And to be honest with you, it's absolutely life-changing. The author Nassim Taleb dropped some nuggets on me yesterday, and I kind of followed up today with just watching a couple more videos. I've always struggled with, the battle between experience and wisdom, and which one is truly, more valuable to one's journey. I often argue that wisdom is more valuable because it saves you time. It saves you, pain. It saves you, the struggle of going through it yourself. You can learn everything from someone else's struggle, someone else's mentorship. But along with that, experience gives you all the nitty and gritty details that you would otherwise have to ask questions to access. If you get a DUI, you remember everything that you went through throughout that process, all the fines you had to pay, the color robe the judge was wearing, how many lawyers were present, the audience and whatnot, the temperature of the courthouse. You will remember all these minute details that someone who reads a book on a DUI or watches the news or, reads an article would not have. There's always been that struggle for me trying to figure out, how do I decide what I should experience and what I should read about and what I should just merely study from a distance. And this video I watched yesterday by Nassim Taleb blew my mind. It was so simple of a concept. It took me a couple minutes to get through the first couple minutes of his video. I had to watch it a couple times just because the way he explained it, it was from a mathematical standpoint. His terminology was a little bit more distant than I'm used to, especially in certain disciplines such as mathematics or whatnot. But I was like, I'm not going to turn it off, because I will not have somebody talk over my head when I can merely Google, the terms and whatnot. A couple terms you have to define: fragile, robust, and anti-fragile. I would like to assume that all of us would know what robust means: something that will not break. You hit it, you smash it, it does not break. But I would add this to the definition: it does not benefit from the stress. Fragile. For example, let's take a teacup and place it on a table. The teacup is fragile, meaning that it will not break when you place it on the table, but if you push it off the table and it impacts the floor, it will break. And of course, it did not benefit from impacting the table, nor did it benefit from impacting the floor. It is fragile. And then lastly, we have anti-fragile. And it's a term I've never heard before until I ran into that video. Anti-fragile. The best example I can think of in terms of something being anti-fragile will be a human. Let's say you take a human to the gym, and let's say you lift, 100 pounds one time. That is a stress that you will benefit from. That is an impact on your nervous system that you will benefit from. You do not break because you experience less stress. Anti-fragile, in my mind, is basically speaking to a stress that you encounter that you benefit from. That unlike the teacup that hits the floor and breaks, unlike the teacup that is placed on the table that experiences the forces that be, but does not break, the human benefits from certain stressors, from certain forces that it runs into. It benefits from it. Being anti-fragile, benefiting from volatility, benefiting from an environment of stress. Eustress, stress. Seeking stress that you benefit from, seeking stress that makes you better. The Air Force, in a lot of ways, is an anti-fragile environment. In a lot of ways, not in every way, but in a lot of ways, you can benefit from being in a chaotic, outdated, environment. It's not all bad. A lot of times I hear people mention in the comments or just in person that I tend to sound negative when I speak about the Air Force. I'm still here for a reason. I'm considering re-enlisting for a reason. There are benefits here that outweigh the cons. Otherwise, why would I tell my brother to join? Otherwise, why would I make videos, encouraging you guys to, get here? And I'm not warning you about impending danger. I'm warning you about, impending stress that you could possibly benefit from. So again, robust, you get hit, you don't break, but you don't benefit. Fragile, you get hit, you potentially could break, or you do break, you do not benefit. Anti-fragile, you get hit, you do not break, and you do benefit. There's another example he used in terms of intentional stressors, seeking out things that are meant to hurt you on purpose, but the outcomes are different. So let's say you take, a tiny dose of poison, which in a lot of ways we consider to be vaccines nowadays. So let's say you take a little bit of a disease, just a little bit into your system. What happens? Your immune system builds up a defense against it, and you become stronger against it. So when you do encounter the real thing, you are ready. You're prepared. You have redundancy in that area. You don't have to know as much about your future because you prepared in that one area. Over time, your system becomes more and more stronger against that stressor. But let's try the same thing with a knife. Let's try the same thing. Let's say if I want to, become, over time, grow a defense against knives. Could I stab myself over and over again, and would I benefit from that over time? Not at all. Not at all. In a lot of ways, the damage will be linear. It just accrues over time, becoming worse and worse. The more you inflict, the damage, the more, you become weak, the more you lose in that area. So back to the original question, how do I choose between experience and reading a book? How do I choose between going through it myself and asking a question and seeking mentorship? And it comes down to, again, wisdom. Wisdom is the ability to predict outcomes. Wisdom is the ability to see trouble far off, analyze it, and then hide yourself if need be. We often hear that saying, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Well, does it? Does it? There are a lot of things in this world that will not kill you. But should you go through it? Should you seek out that, that stressor, that force, that pain? Does that benefit you? So the answer is relatively seek out anti-fragile experiences, stressors, environments. You should be seeking, adventure. You should be seeking, experiences that may, that may backfire, that may hurt you, that may cause you to take an L. But the L you take causes you to benefit, causes you to grow stronger. You don't die because of it. You don't lose everything because of it. You don't go bankrupt because of it, but you grow stronger because of it. Wisdom is seeking out, the experiences that will kill you. Wisdom is asking a question concerning things that will hurt you, that will kill you, that will end your career, that will end your potential to progress in a certain environment. Wisdom is asking questions concerning DUIs. Wisdom is seeking out, questions concerning, is this illegal? Am I allowed to do this? Should I be doing this? Should I be here at this time? Should I be with these people who are committing this activity? Wisdom is asking questions in place of trying to learn something via experience that is fragile in nature. I'm not saying be robust, meaning try nothing, seek out nothing, risk nothing. I'm not saying be robust. There are no benefits to being robust. Stay in your room, locked up, blinds closed, not interacting with anyone, scared to take a risk, scared to try something new. That's being robust. You don't benefit from that. But being anti-fragile, getting out of your comfort zone, going to a job that you may hate, but in the long run, you potentially benefit from this. Engaging with people that you do not enjoy, but realizing I benefit from at least asking a question. There are people that have been in this environment longer than me. Leadership have been in 10, 12, 15, 17, 20 years. Ask a question. They have resources that you will not have access to until you ask a question. The bottom line is we need to be avoiding these fragile experiences. These fragile experiences. Nothing worse than to go through something and lose the progress you made in the first place. The stock market, the banking industry, in a lot of ways is very fragile. You can make a lot of progress over time and lose it all with the right acceleration, with the right amount of volatility, with the right event, and you lose everything unless you're properly diversified, like Warren Buffett, Ray Dalio, and the like. Seek wisdom, and wisdom will also tell you, when to just be robust, when to just stand by and wait, when to be in a place of listening, when to be in a place of I'm not going to be moving right now. In times of grief, in times of loss, in times of when you're experiencing depression or mental instability, you're not feeling very grounded. That's a time where you should just be robust. Just be robust. Stop moving. Just get quiet. Stay to yourself for a while. Listen. Go for a hike. Go for a walk. Stop eating. Sometimes subtraction is the answer. I made a post on Twitter a while back and a lot of people didn't understand it. But I mentioned how, wisdom is subtraction sometimes. Knowledge is adding. We're constantly trying to get more and more and more and more. But wisdom sometimes means turn the TV off. Subtract. Turn the radio off. Turn your phone off. Go take a nap. Sometimes, life comes down to what you are willing to say no to. Is this necessary right now? Dark times reveal the unnecessary. You're going through a time of stress, a time of darkness, a time of, bereavement, a time of loss, a time of, just a new environment. Sometimes you just need to say no. That's where wisdom comes in. So just a quick recap. Fragile, robust, and anti-fragility. Robust, you get hit, you do not break, but you do not benefit. You are strong, you are a diamond, but you do not benefit from the stress you encounter. You're not stronger because of it. Fragile, you get hit, you break, under, certain levels of force or conditions. And again, you do not benefit. You are a cup getting pushed off a table. You hit the floor and you break into a million pieces. You do not benefit from that experience. You get a DUI. You do not benefit from that experience. You have all the knowledge. All right, you get to write a book from prison or from, walking to your job because you do not have a license anymore. You rob a bank, you get caught, you go to prison. You sell drugs, you get caught, you go to prison. You do not benefit from that experience. That did not benefit you. So avoid fragile experiences. And lastly, we have anti-fragile, where you experience turbulence. You go to the gym, you lift weight that is not normal to your routine. You impact your nervous system with a certain amount of stress, a certain amount of force, and you benefit from that interaction. You benefit from that experience. That is what you should be seeking out on a consistent basis, is anti-fragile experiences. Something that you can walk away from and you took all the upside. It's kind of like a hedge fund manager where you manage others' assets. You manage other people's assets and their money. And you benefit heavily, like 17% from the upside. And from the downside, you have no volatility. You have no losses on the downside. Maybe, of course, the total amount under management goes down. But you still got your bonus. You still got your salary, your crazy amount. So hedge fund managers practice being anti-fragile. The way the company operates is in an anti-fragile framework. Genius, bro. So learn to seek out environments where you are anti-fragile. You have nothing but upside. You can only benefit from this. A college is just like that, where you have tremendous upside One of the benefits to an anti-fragile environment is the unknown. The unknown. You do not have all the variables, but you don't need to, because there's so much upside to it. There's so much upside that, not knowing every single variable is a benefit to you. Now, you don't want unknown in every single, environment. Let's say you're on an airplane. Let's say the mechanics have an unknown or missing screw in, what they were building. That's not something you want. You don't want the unknown. You don't want unknown variables on an airplane. Will I make it? Will the plane stay up? A lot of aircraft have one point of failure and they come down. You can't lose a propeller on a helicopter and expect to benefit from that. A lot of people are afraid of the variable called the unknown. We like to be in control. We don't like going into things blind. We would rather, have a brief. Tell me what's ahead. What can I expect from this experience? Realize that you're not entitled to that in every single case. Seek anti-fragile environments. Realize that you will benefit from being in a certain place of stress where you walk away with a lesson, with an experience that makes you stronger over time.